and business level strategy. So at first I would like to thank Neha ma'am for giving us such a golden opportunity for presenting this presentation. So our first point of our slide will be explained by Shivam.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My topic is Tactis. Tactis is a specific operating plan defining how a strategy is to implemented in firm or when and where it is to put into action. Tactis is a narrower concept. Tactis means through which predetermined plan are executed. It is the best and optimal utilization of various organizational resources committed through strategy. Some people
Shivam, I
think
think
that
you should turn on your camera. Shivam.
okay, ma'am. Ma'am, some people think that tactics and strategy are similar words, but tactics and strategy are different from each other. Strategy is all over plan of the management, and tactics is the part of a strategy. There are some characteristic of tactics. Tactics is a narrower concept. It is easy to evaluate. It is repetitive in nature. Uh, is a short-term decision. There are two types of tactics. First one is timing tactics, and the second one is marketing leadership tactics. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to call Shipra Rakesh for the further discussion.
Thank you, Shivam. So our second point is types of tactics. So first, that is timing tactics. Timing tactics, when to make a strategic move is often as important as what move to make. In other words, timing tactics deal with when a company implements a strategy. There are basically three types of timing tactics. First mover, second mover, and third, that is last mover. So first mover. Yes, ma'am?
Go on.
Oh, first mover. First mover is a company that gains a competitive advantage by being the first to bring a new product or service to the market. First mover typically establish strong brand recognition and customer loyalty. The advantage of first mover include time to develop, economies of scale, and cost efficient way of producing or delivering a product. The disadvantage of first mover includes the risk of product being copied. Example of first mover are Amazon and eBay. Amazon.com was the first major online bookstore. Second mover. Second mover advantage is the advantage a company gets from following others into the market or mimicking an existing product. There are few advantages of second mover that are first, cus- customer development, second, product management, third, customer acquisition, and fourth, procurement. Example of second mover is Facebook. Then the last one, that is last mover. The late movers advantage means that following follower can learn more from pioneer mistakes, see whether there is a market worth entering, or judge customers' taste. Example of last mover is British Cadder, launched by British Carling. So I would like to call Nandini for further explanation.
Good afternoon, everyone. My topic is market location tactics. Market location tactics. This aspect deals with the issue of where to compete. Uh, it means the
You
Yes,
can turn
ma'am.
on the camera. You're not sharing the screen, I suppose.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. In market location tactics, this aspect deals with the issue where to compete. It means the target market in the organization applying its business strategy. There are three types of market location tactics. First one is market leader, second one is market challenger, and third one is market follower. A market leader. These are the organization that have the market share in the relevant product market and using lead to the industry in factors such as technological development of product and service attributes, price benchmarks, or distribution channel design. A market challenger strategy. Market challenger strategy is the marketing strategy adopted by the firm uh, uh, to occupying the third and run up run up position in the market to attack the ma- to attack the leader or the immediate competitor to intention to capture a market intention uh, intention to capture intention to capture a great market and earn huge revenues. Uh, Strategy adapted by the market challenger. First one is frontal attack. Second one is flank attack. Third one is encirclement attack. Fourth one is bypass attack, and fifth one is guerrilla warfare. First one, a frontal attack. The frontal attack is direct attack where where the market challenger matches with the competitor's product, price, advertising, and promotional activities. For example, Uh, Amul adapted this strategy to launch its brand Amul Cool and Amul Masti Dahi at the low price and same quantity with the other competitors in the market. Second one is flankal attack. Flank attack is flank attack means attacking the competitors on its big point. Um, Here, the market challenger determines the weak area of the competitor in the terms of two strategy dimension. Uh, that is geographic and segment. For example, LG has adapted this strategy to introduce color TV, and third one is guerrilla war. Third one is encirclement attack. Encirclement attack is the combination of both frontal attack and flank attack. It it, uh, it means attacking the market leader and the competitor from the all the front simultaneously. For example, the FMCG adapted this strategy to intention to outshine the others. Fourth one is bypass attack. Bypass attack is the indirect attack where the market challenger does not attack directly to the market leader. Uh, for example, Pepsi adopted this strategy to launch its mineral water Aquafina. Fifth one is guerrilla warfare. Uh, Intermediate attack imposed by the challenger to demoralize the competitor by adopting both conventional and unconventional means of the attack. For example, the Pepsi and Coca-Cola follows this strategy intention to harass each other. Thank you. I would like to call Srishti for the further explanation. Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. My topic is about market follower strategy. In this strategy, there are four types of strategy as there. So first one is adapter. Here the name clarifies that it adapts something from the other product. Now in adapter, it learns from the mistakes of the other product and launch it into the market with a innovative version. Like if a company launches a car, then the other company
copy it and innovate it, and then after it launches its better version. After um, like after that, cloner. In cloner, this only not replicates the product of the company, but also uses his name with minor differences. Like Adidas is sold as Adidas, Puma is sold as Puma, etc. Imitator. Imitator not only imitates the product, but it maintains its own quality and differences. Then after it offers it to the consumer with its own quality, like gold and city gold. In this, they looks like same, but they have different quality. After that, counterfeiter. In counterfeiter, the company copies the product of the market leader and then sell it into the black market, like pirated movies, CDs, etc. Now, next topic will be explained by Shad.
Good afternoon. I am going to define about niche marketing. Niche marketing is an advertising strategy that focuses on unique target market. The market needs define the product feature aimed at satisfying specific market needs, as well as the price range, production quality, and statistical study of population that it is to be targeted. This is a small market segment. The niche market is highly specialized and aiming to survive among the competition from numerous super companies. It is different from other markets because of geographical area, lifestyle, occasion, profession, style, culture, activities or habit, behavior, demographic needs, feature reduction or addition. The benefit of niche marketing is that it allows brands of differentiate themselves, appear as unique authority. Niche marketing in niche market blends with the many other brands that offer the same type of product or service. A brand can be used niche marketing to stand out, appear more valuable, reach its growth potential, and build a stronger, longer lasting connection with its ideal audience. Now, I would like to call Shipra for conclusion.
So this is all about our presentation. In our presentation, we explained about what is tactics, what are the different types of tactics. So basically, tactics are quick, actionable plans that support an organization overall strategy. Thank you.
Good. Now next, GE 9 cell matrix.
Yes, ma'am.
And next, who is going to present after GE 9 cell?
Ma'am, core competency.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, be ready.
Yes, ma'am.
नेक्स्ट क्लास में भी दो हो जाएगा, एक कोर कॉम्पिटेंसी और एक और
मैम पीपीटी सो रहा है।
Strategic control next day.
ठीक है, बी प्रिपेयर्ड.
हेलो
Strategic control will be the last topic.
Yes,
क्या
ma'am.
बचा हुआ है अभी?
मैम
दो ही बचा हुआ है, दो आज एक, दो उधर, तीन ही बचा हुआ है.
हाँ और
हाँ,
मैम हम लोग का प्लीज आज ले लीजिएगा ना कोर कॉम्पिटेंसी.
ऑल राइट. जी के बाद
Okay.
एमएस से दे देंगे.
ओके मैम. ओके.
Yes, you can start now.
Good morning, everyone. Myself Abhishek Kumar, and today I am going to deliver our presentation on G9 cell matrix, and with our group member.
हेडफोन यूज कर रहे हैं अभिषेक?
Yes, ma'am.
हेडफोन हटा करके देखिए तो, क्योंकि आवाज नहीं आ रही सही.
1 minute.
मैम आप आ रहा है क्लियर आवाज?
अभी सही है.
With our group member myself Abhishek Kumar, and second Vikas Kumar, Aman Kumar, Alok Kumar, and Nikhil Sagar. And introduction of G9 cell matrix. G9 cell matrix established in 1917 by McKinsey and Company. It's also called traffic light matrix and 3 by 3 matrix. In the business world, much like anywhere else, the problem of resources scarcity is affecting the decision the company needs to choose how to use their cash. Be the fight for investment take place in every level of company, between team, functional department, division, or business unit. The question of where and how much to invest in an ever going headache for
लास्ट
those
बेंच में
who allocate the
सारी क्लास में
resources.
अरे उस पे ध्यान दीजिए
How
ना
does this affect the diversified business? Multi-business companies manage a complex 50 to 60 or 100 products and service. The product or business unit differ in what they do. How will they perform on or in their future prospects? This make it every hard to make a
अभिषेक
decision
मोबाइल
in
को हॉरिजॉन्टली रखिए
one. Now it's okay.
यस कुछ ज्यादा ही बड़ा हो गया
At least it was hard until the BCG matrix and its improved version G McKinsey matrix come to help. These tools solve the problem by comparing the business unit and assigning them the group that are worth investing in or groups that should harvest it or divest it. It covers two parameters: industry attractiveness and business unit strength. And industry attractiveness will be described by Nikhil Sagar. Nikhil
Good
Sagar.
afternoon. Industry. My topic is market attractiveness. Industry attractiveness. Industry attractiveness factors you could choose to base this on include market size, market growth, business factors, political, economical, social, technological, environmental, legal, voters, five
Nikhil, you can
forces.
turn on the camera. I need to remind every time.
Okay. Five forces, competitor rivalry, and threats of new threats and threats of substitution, and you need to decide which factors you will use as determining factors, as this will be applied to all the basic business units. Step one: decide on determining factors. Step two: give each factors rating numbers based on its magnitude, mix or total weight of all factors, and up to 1.00 or 10.00. Uh, rate each business units against each factors on a scale, and for example, one to five, where one is extremely attractive and five is extremely unattractive. Fourth is give give each business unit weighted rate on each factor by multiplying its rating by weighted for that fact. Thank you, ma'am. Next topic, I'd like to for Alok Kumar explain the next topic.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Here Alok Kumar presenting my PPT on the topic of business strength. The business strength factor to determine how a strong unit is compared to other in its industry include First of all, market share. Second, growth in market share. Third, brand equity, profit margin compared to competition, distribution channel process. The strength of step 1, decide on determining factors. Step give each factor a weighting number based on its magnitude. Make a total weight of total factor and up to 1 or 10, for example. Step 3, rate each business unit against each factor on a scale. For example, 1 to 5, where 1 is extremely attractive and 5 is extremely unattractive. Step 4, give each business unit a weighted rating on each factor by multiplying its rating by the weight for the factor. Step 5, total up all the weighted ratings for each business or for each business unit. Now you have the measurement. You can plot your business units on the G matrix, and depending on where they all are plotted will determine you a strategy. That's all my topic. And next topic explained by Aman Kumar.
Good afternoon, all of you. Today I am going to cover a G9 cell matrix boxes. First of all, I want to discuss about the grow, hold, and the harvest. First is grow. Units that land in the section of the grid generally have the high market share and promise the high returns in the future, so should be investing. Now the second one is hold. Units that land in the section of the grid can be ambitious and should only be invested in if there is money left over after the investing in the profitable units. Now the third one is harvest or divest. Poor performing units in an unattractive industry end up in the section of the grid. This should only be invested in if they make more money than put them. Otherwise, it should be liquidated. Now I want to discuss about all the boxes. If the industry attractiveness is high and business strength is strong, then the companies grow. If the industry attractiveness is high and the business strength is average, then it will grow. If the industry attractiveness is high and the business strength is weak, then it need to be put it on hold. If the industry attractiveness is medium and the business strength is strong, then it would be grow. If the industry attractiveness is medium and the business strength is average, then it would be hold. If the industry attractiveness is medium and the business strength is weak, then it need to be it is a harvest or divest. If the industry attractiveness is low and the business strength is strong, then it is need to be on hold. If the industry attractiveness is low and the business strength is average, then it would be harvest. If the industry attractiveness is low and the business strength is weak, then it need to be harvested. Now the next topic is discussed by my friend Vikas Kumar.
Vikas is there? Because
his network is too big, ma'am.
he is there in the group.
Yes, ma'am.
Camera is on and microphone is mute.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, Vikas. Go on.
So, thank you for giving me this opportunity. So, my topic is an example of gene and cell matrix on Maruti Suzuki. About the Maruti Suzuki Udyog. He is the founder of the 1981. Products are the Maruti 800, Omni, Alto, and SX4, Swift Desire, and A-Star, Gypsy, Wagner, and Retreat others. So now is the vision. What is the vision of the Maruti Suzuki? The leader Indian automobile industry, creating for the customer, delighting are the shareholders with a pride of the India and the core value. Our value drive us every individual, and first is the customer obsession, flexible and fast mover, and innovative and creativity, and networking partnership, and opinion learning. And the second slide, next slide. This is the two parameter. First one the business strength, the second is the Indian industry attractiveness. This is the first one. Agar Indian industry attractiveness high and medium, then business strength is strong and average. Then Swift, Alto, and Swift is investment and growth. And the Indian attractiveness is low, and business strength is average. Then Wagner, SX4, and A-Star is a selectivity of and earning. And the Indian attractiveness is low, and business strength is average. Then Valsna, Omni, and Veleno is harvest. And the next slide, the difference between of the strength and weakness. So first one is it allows the intermediate rating and between high and low, and between strong and weak. And the second point, it's help with the challenging the corporate resource and the business, and achieving the competitive advantage and the superior performance. And the third point, it's help in the better strategic decision making and better understanding business scope. And the weakness is the first point. It tend to obscure business that are the because to winner, because there is the industry are entering at exit stage. And the second point, assessment of business in the term of two factor is the not for. अगर इसको बोलूं, अगर स्ट्रेंथ को बोलूं तो मैम जो बीसीसी मैट्रिक्स के अंदर जो भी खामियां होती है उसे वो कवर करता है। और वीकनेस इसका ये हो जाएगा मैम आपको कि किसी भी बिजनेस को किसी भी दो फैक्टर से ही एनालाइज नहीं कर सकते हैं। थैंक यू मैम।
Completed?
Yes, ma'am.
Nice confidence, Vikas. Next, Sonal. Sonam.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Corporate governance topic किसको मिला था? कोई बाद में मैसेज किए थे, I told them to prepare on corporate governance क्योंकि टॉपिक बचा नहीं था।
Ma'am, can I share the screen?
You can start. नेक्स्ट क्लास में 2 प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं तो 3 प्रेजेंटेशन रेडी रखिएगा। वैल्यू चेन किसका टॉपिक था? मेरे मार्क्स है मेरे पास।
Ma'am, screen is visible.
It is visible. You can start now.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, can we start our presentation?
Yeah, sure. Start now.
Ansha, today I and my friends Sonam, Amrita, Ankita, Vishal from second year of Bachelor Business Administration are here to give presentation on the topic core competency. Before getting into the presentation, we would like to thank Dr. Neha Jha ma'am who has given us this opportunity. Before moving forward, I would like to give short introduction about why core competencies are important. Core competency helps an organization to determine its product from its rival, as well as to reduce its cost than its competitors, and thereby attain a competitive advantage. It helps in creating customer value. Also, core competency helps in creating and developing new goods and services. Now let's move on the topic. What do you understand by core competency? Core competencies are the defining capabilities or advantage that the business may have that distinguish it from the competitors. Core competency is the foundation for sharpening a company's competitive edge, and it guides brand reputation, business growth, and marketing strategy. Business core competencies are your company unique abilities, products, and services that gives it a competitive advantage in your industry and market. A company have more than one or more core competency which are called core capabilities or distinctive competency, which helps in creating a sustained competitive advantage. Thank you by my side. Now Amrita will continue the further explanation.
Thank you, Akansha. Good afternoon, ma'am, and all my classmates. I'm going to explain my topic, and the topic is core competencies fulfill three criteria. Three criteria for the core competencies to create value. The core competencies must exchange competitive advantages by creating superior customer value. It means each activity in the value chain has potential to create a core competencies. Example, Gillette razor. Core competencies is understanding phenomena underlying saving. Let them create innovative products. And the second one, different business in the operation must be similar. In a list, one important way relate to the core competencies. Product can be different, but at least one element in the value chain must require similar skill in creating competitive advantage. And the third one, the core competency must be in the difficult for competitors to imitate or find substitute for. Skills associated with a firm's core competencies should not be easily imitated or replicated. Second, core competency, origin and history about core competencies. Sonam, please change this slide. Core competency is relatively new management theory that originated in 1990 Harvard Business Review article, The Core Competence of the Corporation, written by C.K. Prahlad and Gary Hamel and published in Harvard Business Review. It is one of the famous book. Thank you. Next slide.
My topic is how
Next, who is presenting?
Hello.
Yes. Sir, you are presenting?
Yes, ma'am. My topic is how core competencies work. Core competency has evolved over the past 30 years, but it remains based on exploiting server competitive advantage. Core competencies are what make it difficult for other business to duplicate a product or service and then outperform the competency. Successful business tend to have more than one of the following core competency. First, more quality. Second, customer service. Third, value. Fourth, innovation. This slide. Thank you, ma'am.
That's it.
Thank you, Bisal. And my changes. And my topic is example of core competency. Walmart and Apple are two companies that continuously showcase their power of core competency. Now Apple is mere core competency is innovation. They have long history to developing unique and innovative technology products, including iPhone, Mac computer, iPod, iPad, Apple TV, Apple Watch, and etc. The launch of iPhone has been killed the sales of BlackBerry devices. Apple core competency adopt innovations, technology, and a strong manpower team, high quality customer services, strong financial performance, and it also helps in computer technology and electronic markets. Now, second one is Walmart. Walmart primary core competency are its buying power and its supply chain management. The size of Walmart operation allows them to buy products in massive bulk and sell into their lowest price, and because of the lower prices they can undercut their competitors on the price of and attract more consumers. Thank you, ma'am. And next slide explained by B. Sonam.
Thank you, Ankita, and good afternoon to all of you. I'll explain the further point, that is advantage and disadvantage of core competency. The advantage of core competency is that it refers to that specific skill, knowledge, and expertise that is hard to be followed by the competitors. It allows to concentrate on product and the area of business that to give high returns. It also helps an organization to distinguish its product from its rival as well as reduce its costs. Core competency helps in creating customer value and creating and developing new goods and services, increasing the diversity and enables corporations to reach their full potential. Now, the next point is disadvantage of core competency. A core competency is developed over a time and stays with the companies in all its product, and it's the major differentiator for the company. Walmart has its pricing, Apple has its innovation, and Intel has its technology. But what if core competency of this company? Are they attacked? Can core competency be limiting you? Can Walmart high price product and still maintain their brand equity? These all are thus these are certain factors which will limit your competency. This also may problem arise when a company is accurately assigned to a strength as a core competency. This can particularly be troublesome if you are busy focusing on the positive point of the core competency. Now, further slide will be covered by Amrita.
Thank you, Sonam. And conclusion of core competency. Core competency helps in creating customer value, also helps in developing new goods and services. Core competency decided the future of the organization. This decided the future of a structure of global organization and a structure. If anyone having any doubts, please ask. Thank you.
Is there any question you can ask?